This video is designed to help students learn how to use Eureka.org, which is a website that shows students information about different career options and specifics about each career that is listed on the website. This is a great website to use to do research on careers, and I'll be demonstrating how to do so throughout this video. Unlike onetonline.org, this is not a free website. So you do have to register. If you have not yet registered, you can click on the Join Register link here and go ahead and register for that. To register, you do need a passcode that I will post in the class website, as well as it is posted on the Career Services website and a couple other places as well. But you do need that passcode in order to create the account. Go ahead and put my own account information in now. There's really two different ways you can interact with Eureka.org. The first way is this go to my path, and that really puts you through a step-by-step process on how to use Eureka, and is really good for students who haven't watched this video, who don't know how to use this, and really want to see how each piece of Eureka works. I tend to like to use the dashboard because it allows me just to go straight in and not go through the pathway. There's three different steps to Eureka. The first is a self-assessment step. So there's a variety of assessments, as you can see, that you can use. One of which would be, what are your learning styles, what are your values, skills assessments, and so forth. Some of these assessments we've already done, in terms of skills assessments and so forth. But certainly you could use True Colors if you want to do some more career assessments, OccuSort, those types of things. Don't focus a lot on that in this class, but step 2 definitely is where we'll be focusing the primary piece of our energy. You would want to click on Occupations, and then under Occupations there's a variety of different ways you can do research on here. If you know exactly what career you want to do research on, you can always run a occupation title. So like we could put police officer here, and it would return down here the occupations that come back. In this case, we'll just look straight at police officers. And what's brought up then is a detailed description of what what it takes to become a police officer, the types of duties and responsibilities, personal characteristics, and so forth. Much like onetonline.org. If you go through this, you'll see there's a wealth of information here about becoming a police officer, and everything from the work environment and physical demands to the growth outlook and the pay, so on and so forth. So really a wealth of information. One of the things I like that's very different, in my opinion, from ONET Online is this preparation piece. It really goes into detail what's required to become a police officer or whatever job you happen to be looking at, including the education required. Shows you what the majors are, related majors. So the educational program is the sort of main major that you would do in order to do this work, but there's also related majors there, and skills that would be required. And then I really like this as well, which is the associations that are a part of this career. Often if you want to do more research on the career, or if you want to, say, maybe talk to someone who's currently in the career or something like that, the professional associations can be a great place to find that kind of information. So as you can see, there's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms here. There's the International Crime Scene Investigators Association. So this really can be a wealth of information by talking to people from those organizations. Another way to do research is by grouping or cluster. So if you wanted to look through here, maybe you want to work through aviation, but you're not quite sure what in aviation you want to do. If you click on that and click View, it'll come up with the different careers associated with aviation, everything from aeronautical design engineers to air traffic controllers and so forth. Really great for people who wanted to, say, do healthcare, for example. Occupations by cluster is similar. The clusters are a little bit different, but you can take a look at that as well. And again, if for those students who have done the assessments and still have gotten that the top 10 occupations or something like that, and aren't really pleased with those results, but know that there's a particular field that they might want to work with, either with animals or electricity or something like that, you could do some research by those categories and see what kinds of careers come up. And then when you do look at something, so if we were to look at electricity, for example, and then you could look by occupation within that. Maybe you look at a line worker. You're going to get that same description of what those people do that I was showing you earlier. The other piece I really like to look at is the Holland codes, because again, that's something that is produced by the Strong Assessment. And so you could take a look at, for example, if your code is an REI, you can go to R and maybe view a 3-digit, for example, and look, and then you can sort by Holland code here, so that you can go, it might be a few pages in. A lot of RCEs. And there's your REI, for example, right there, and you can see what careers associate with REI, for example. And so again, another great place to brainstorm careers if you're unsure what careers you want to do research on. And then again, you can click on a career and once again look at the different aspects of that particular career. The last piece I wanted to show you is the occupations by education level. Certainly there are some people who are just like, I have no desire to do 4 years of education. It's just too much. So you might want to look to 2 to 3 years or 1 to 2 years, something like that. But if you selected one and then click view, once again, you're going to get a list of the careers that don't necessarily require a 4-year education. So for some people, that's something that maybe they have families or that they really need to start working sooner rather than later, and so a 2-year education is really all they can afford time-wise. But anyway, that's yet another way of narrowing the field in terms of what types of careers that you want to look at. So that's how you would look up different occupations and brainstorm different ways of looking up different occupations through step 2. And again, I'm not going to cover every single piece of this, but you can see there's lots of other options here to take a look at. The third piece, and that's something I really like showing students as well, is this majors and programs link. So often a student will know what they want to major in. Maybe they just love history, for example, but they don't know the careers that are often associated with history. You can go through this, look up history under select a major in training, click view selected major, and what it does initially is talk a little bit about the major generically, general description, the type of courses you might take, related majors or other programs of study in case maybe history doesn't turn out something that you want to be. There's some related things there, but then there's the related occupations here that would go along with a history major. Now again, just because something you're interested career-wise is not listed here doesn't mean that you can't major in history, but these are the majors that are typically associated with history in terms of majors. It also tells you the CSUs as well as I believe UCs, that have a history major. So that's a way of answering that question. Well, if I'm going to do a history major, where can I do that? So this is another great place to do research on that. So that's Eureka in a nutshell, and is really a great way of taking a look at it. If you need to, take a look at it, make sure though that you get the access code first, and then create your account, and then you can log in and start playing around with it.